Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode, let's talk about an interesting bike from Germany, and it's gonna be 2021 Focus Paralane 8.8. But before we start, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe and hit that little bell icon because it's gonna help in growing the channel. And of course, if you are already a subscriber, then definitely thank you. So, as I was saying, Focus Paralane 8.8 for the 2021 season. Focus is a really big German bike brand. They have a huge heritage in making both road and mountain bikes. And you have probably seen Focus bikes being ridden on the professional level of cycling, both in road cycling and in mountain biking. So, let's kick off by explaining who is this bike for. So you see, Focus Paralane range is all about endurance, long days in the saddle, comfortable bike ride. So if you are in the market for that kind of endurance road bike, then definitely you should check Focus Paralane range. Also, speaking about the retail price, you can see that the retail price is 2,300 British pounds, or in Germany you can get it for 2,300 euros. So it's a very interesting price bracket, and I think Focus has done a really interesting job in this price bracket. I'm aware that now bike deliveries are a bit limited, so negotiating the price of this bike might be a bit challenging, but still, it's definitely worth asking your local Focus bike dealer what can be done with the price. Maybe you can get 5 to 10% discount on this bike, or maybe they can throw in some other equipment if you are buying this bike. Maybe you get a helmet, maybe you get some gloves or something like that. It's always worth asking your local Focus bike dealer. But we gotta talk about the retail price of 2,300 euros or 2,300 British pounds. When it comes to the paint scheme on this bike, I see here that there is only one paint scheme on offer. This looks to me like a pure classical black with a hint of white, although this color schematic here shows like a blue color. I don't know if this is some kind of mistake on their web, or the picture of the bike is not corresponding to this blue, but I will consider this as a classical black on black paint scheme. It is decent, nothing special to add here. I wish that Focus has offered at least another paint scheme, but this is kind of a classical move from a lot of bike manufacturers just to offer one paint scheme. Now let's dive in, let's see the specifications and components of this bike, and let's really see what do you get for your hard-earned money. We will kick off with the frame and the fork on this bike. So you see, the frame is a carbon fiber frame from Focus with press fit bottom bracket BB86, also 12mm through axles both front and the back, and internal cable routing on this carbon fiber frame. Also these through axles, 12mm through axles front and the back, have a Focus RAT system, which is basically like a quick release system on a through axle. It's a brilliant solution, and I think Focus has even patented this system. Fork is also a carbon fiber fork from Focus, 12mm through axle in the front with the RAT system and the internal cable routing. And here what I'm noticing that they are mentioning that there is 140mm flat mounts for the disc brakes, both on the frame and the fork. I'm not sure if this is some kind of bit mistake, or really Focus has only included 140mm braking rotors, but we will come to that later in my discussion. Also keep in mind that this carbon fiber frame and the fork, they come with a 6 years warranty from Focus. You gotta register as the first owner of the bike, and then you have a 6 years warranty on the frame and the fork. It's nothing special, this 6 years warranty. It's kind of average that other bike manufacturers are doing, although, as you know, there are many other bike manufacturers who can do lifetime warranty, and I think Focus should, in the future, strive to offer a lifetime warranty on their frame, and, for example, 10 years warranty on the fork, the same stuff as Giant would do. Now let's talk about the group set on this bike. So you see shifters, front mech and the rear mech on this bike. Everything is mechanical, Shimano 105 group set. So Shimano 105 R7000, absolutely perfect mechanical group set, no problems here. This is 11-speed mechanical group set, and it's a classical Shimano workhorse, Shimano 105. I have absolutely no complaints here. This group set is going to work just fine. When we talk about the cassette on this bike, you will have a Shimano's 105 cassette, Shimano 105 R7000, so I'm glad they didn't cut corners here. And also when we look at the chain on the bike, you will have a Shimano's HG601 chain, so this is again a Shimano 105 level chain, again great, no cutting corners here. This cassette on the bike is 1134 cassette, absolutely brilliant. This is what you want for the endurance road bike. And when we look at the crankset on the bike, you have a Shimano's RS510 crankset, which is 5034 crankset, so 2 chain rings at the front. But you see, this Shimano RS510 crankset, they needed to save money somewhere, so they saved money on this RS510 crankset, because this crankset sits below Shimano 105 crankset, and since the rest of the group set is Shimano 105, would be nice that they have included Shimano 105 crankset, but they just saved a bit of money. This RS510 crankset is again 11-speed crankset, 2 chain rings, 2-piece crankset, and as I said, this one is 50-34 combination, and the total weight of this crankset would be 908 grams. It's a perfectly fine crankset, I have no special complaints here, but as I say, it just sits a little bit below the Shimano 105 crankset. I already mentioned that the frame comes with a press-fit bottom bracket BB86, should be perfectly fine. I'm not expecting any creaking noises here, just because Focus knows what they are doing with their carbon fiber frames, and as long as the tolerances of the carbon fiber frames are good, there should be no creaking noises from the bottom bracket. Now let's talk about some smaller pieces on the bike: handlebar, stem, seat post, and let's see what you get here. So when it comes to the handlebar, this is the BBB handlebar. It's an aluminum handlebar, perfectly fine. I have no complaints about aluminum handlebars. Maybe in the future you want to upgrade to the carbon fiber ones, but I just wouldn't bother. The same story goes for the stem. This is an aluminum stem, perfectly fine for this bike. But when we come to the seat post on the bike, I'm noticing that this is an aluminum seat post, 25.4 millimeters. And I think this is a bit disappointing, and I think Focus should have included a carbon fiber seat post. So for example, in the future, this would be the first change I would do on the bike, to buy a decent carbon fiber seat post. The simple reason is that carbon fiber seat post will definitely be better for the comfort of the bike, and you will soak up much more of the road bumps with the carbon fiber seat post. Saddle is the Focus On Production Focus Race SL. I've never used this saddle, so I don't have experience with that, but always keep in mind that saddles are a personal preference, and once when you have your desired saddle, you should just keep it as long as possible. Now let's talk about the braking system on the bike. So you see, you are getting a Shimano 105 hydraulic disc brakes, absolutely superb hydraulic braking system, no complaints here. The only thing I'm noticing is that they didn't give the size of the braking rotors and the type of the braking rotors. What I can see from the main images of the bike, it seems to me that these braking rotors should be 160mm braking rotors, but just because the technical specifications for the frame say that they have a flat mount 140mm rotors, this is something definitely to check with the Focus bike dealer. Are these braking rotors 160 or 140mm? If they are 140 mil, I strongly recommend you in the future to change it to 160 mil, just because you'll have a better heat dissipation and better braking performance. I don't like when bike manufacturers are saving weight on the braking rotors and fitting these small 140 millimeter rotors. So this is definitely something to check with your Focus bike dealer. Also, when I'm looking at the type of these braking rotors, these are definitely some basic Shimano braking rotors on the levels of Shimano 105 braking rotors, perfectly fine out of the box. I wouldn't bother changing this type of the braking rotor, but just the size, definitely yes. Now let's have a look at the wheel set and the tires on this bike. So you see, when it comes to the wheel set, this is the Shimano's RS171 wheel set, and this wheel set is wrapped in the Vittoria Zafiro Pro tires. These tires are 30C tires, and I'm glad that they've included 30C tire, just because you'll have so much more air volume and the ride will be smoother. Also, speaking about this RS171 wheel set from Shimano. So you see, this is a classical aluminum wheel set from Shimano. 12mm through axles, both front and the back, and for the center lock disc brakes. And also what I gotta mention here is the total weight of the wheel set. So the rear wheel is 1098 grams, and the front wheel will be a little bit lighter, 900 something grams. So in total, this whole package will be approximately 2000 grams out of the box. Definitely, you know, not the lightest wheel set, but this is a very basic Shimano wheel set with Shimano's own hubs. Do I have any special complaints? No, you gotta always keep in mind the price bracket of this bike of 2,300 euros. So this is perfectly fine wheel set out of the box. Always in the future, if you want to upgrade, you can always upgrade the wheel set to something like DT Swiss wheel set or even Zip wheel set. There's so many good choices out there. Now let's talk about another little thing on this bike, and that's the fenders. So what's interesting here is that Focus is supplying this bike with fenders, Curana Sea Light fenders, which is absolutely great, because if you ride your bike in the autumn and winter time, it's definitely good that you can fit fenders on this bike. So that's a very nice little touch from Focus on this carbon fiber frame and the fork. You rarely see these things today. Now, total bike weight of the whole system, of the whole bike, Focus is saying 9.35 kilograms in size medium or size 54. So for example, I would definitely need the size 56, size large. So easily keep in mind it can be a 9.5 kilograms bike out of the box. Nothing special in this department. Bunch of other endurance road bikes are around 9.5 kilos. So this is kind of a standard weight for this endurance road bike, considering this group set on the bike and the wheels. So now, in a summary, do I have any special complaints about this bike? Well, there are two main things that I think should be changed. First thing is this aluminum seat post. I believe that Focus should have fitted a carbon fiber seat post, and if you buy this bike, this would be the first thing to change. I would buy a decent carbon fiber seat post and put it here. Second thing to check with your local Focus bike dealers are these braking rotors. Are they 140 mil or 160 mil? If they are 140, I would definitely change them to 160 mil braking rotors. But except from that, I have no other special complaints about this bike. It's a decent bike built for the given retail price of 2,300 British pounds or approximately 2,300 euros. So I think this is going to be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing, and if you do, please do subscribe and hit that little bell icon, because it's going to help in growing the channel. And of course, I will see you soon in the next episode. Pura Vida.